What's going on, everyone? Making another quick video on the Supra. Got a question on the gauge clusters and how I added my two aftermarket gauges to replace the boost controller gauge and the oil pressure gauge. Before you start, make sure you disconnect your battery. Yours is going to be underneath the hood most likely. So I got my gauge cluster out here. Took it all apart. It's really not that bad, just gotta take your time. Just remember everything's real brittle. Broke a piece right there. As far as it goes, if you have an extra one of these, like if you can go to like a junkyard or something, that'd be the best way to do it, just to experiment. Over here I got the black plate that goes over the clusters, and on the back of this, to make the gauges fit, I had to cut the back of the pods. This is all just a experiment that I did after I saw someone do it on Instagram. But the gauges basically just float in here. This one I have fastened down a little bit, I think, with one screw, or I think I might have put some glue back there, I can't remember. But after you take the front faceplate off, or before even that, I guess you got to come back here and unplug all the wires from the back. And then when you do this, if you do it, I had to cut the holes a little bit to help the gauges fall back in there, because there's spots for the other gauges to bolt in, and because they're thin, flat, you have to, I took a Dremel and drilled out the holes to make them fit, and I took all the bolts out, or screws out I should say, and took this green electric piece out that sends all the electricity to all the gauges, and I pulled that back as to not damage it, and as I said, I drilled out the holes. I'll pull the airflow meter out because it's sitting in there. So as you can see, I cut quite a bit away where the gauges would sit. Now I did make spots for those spots for it to bolt up in there, so it can sit in there and not move for the most part. So that's how it kind of sits in there. And I left the front faceplate off of it because it would fit with the plastic on the front of it. Let's see. I do have a little bit of rubbing going on right there where my finger's at. And then I drilled a little tiny hole right there so I could click the button right here, change the color on the glow shift. Let's see if I have it bolted in. I can't see. But that's pretty much all I did. Like I said, if you have a spare, if you can find a spare cluster, that's the best way to do it. But they fit in there nicely. I think it looks better than trying to stick them up on the pillar pods or down in the center console, because everything in there is square, and then you try to put something around, it doesn't look right. So that's my quick little video on this. Let me know what you guys think, if you have any more questions, if I missed something. But like I said, just take your time, everything's real brittle. I actually took my steering wheel off to make it easier to get the cluster out, and I would say you should probably take yours off as well. A little trick too, if you just undo the bolt, if you don't have a puller, just undo it a little bit and you can wiggle the steering wheel back and forth, and sometimes it pops off. If not, you need to get yourself a puller. think that's it, guys.